At 7 a.m. every morning, my phone buzzes once, and I know if my 3 businesses survived the night. If you're a solopreneur who built an AI automation system and now realizes the hard part isn't building, it's operating, this is the loop nobody teaches. Most courses show you how to ship a prototype in an afternoon. They never show you what happens on day 47, when an API times out at 3 a.m. and a client's invoice queue stalls. I'm Lazar. I run 3 live automated systems on a single home server. And these aren't demos. Real users pay for them daily. Let me show you the part that actually kills one-person businesses. So let's start with what happens at 7 a.m. My phone gets a single Telegram message, a summary from my operations bot. It tells me how many emails were processed overnight across the Gmail accounts I manage, how many invoices flowed through the billing system, and whether the lead gen engines picked up any new prospects. Green check marks mean everything ran. A red block means something broke, and I need to look. This one message replaces what would normally be 45 minutes of checking dashboards, opening tabs, and manually reconciling what happened while I slept. Here's what's actually running. 3 separate systems, all on one PC home server running WSL Ubuntu. The first is a Gmail Telegram bot ecosystem that handles daily email operations, triaging, categorizing, and forwarding the important stuff to the right channel. The second is an invoicing automation tool that handles end-to-end billing for small businesses, pulling data from incoming emails, generating invoices, and queuing them for approval. The third is a lead gen engine that runs autonomous outreach and qualification pipelines. All 3 run in parallel on consumer hardware. No cloud instances, no Kubernetes, no AutoMill that makes you nervous. Now let me show you what the morning actually looks like. I'll pull up the logs from last night. Here you can see timestamps. This one is from the Gmail ecosystem at 2047 a.m., processing a batch of 23 emails. This one is the invoice system at 4:15 a.m., pulling a new batch of billing requests. And this one is the lead gen engine at 5:30 a.m., sending out a scheduled round of outreach. Each system runs on its own schedule using cron jobs. The key is that they're completely decoupled. If one crashes, the other 2 keep running. Let me talk about the monitoring layer because this is where most one-person operations fall apart. I don't check dashboards. I don't have Grafana open on a second monitor. What I have is a Telegram bot that sends me exactly 3 types of messages. The first is the morning summary I just showed you. The second is an immediate alert if something fails. Within 60 seconds of the error, I get a message with the stack trace and the system that produced it. The third is a weekly report that tells me trends. Is email volume going up? Are invoice errors increasing? Is the lead gen conversion rate stable? That's it. 3 message types. I can be at my desk or walking outside, and I know the state of my infrastructure from my phone. Now let me show you a real failure, because this is the part nobody puts in courses. Last Tuesday at 3:12 a.m., the Gmail API started returning 429 rate limit errors. The bot hit the limit because one of the accounts received an unusually large batch of forwarded emails. Here's what happened. The system caught the error, logged it, and triggered an automatic retry with exponential backoff. 30 seconds, then 60, then 120. After 3 failed retries, it sent me a Telegram alert. I saw it when I woke up at 7. The retry logic handled 6 of the 8 affected emails automatically. 2 needed manual intervention because they were edge cases. 1 had an attachment format the parcel didn't recognize, and 1 had a sender that was flagged as suspicious by the spam filter that wasn't actually spam. Here's the fix loop. I open Claude code in the project directory, paste in the error log, and ask it to diagnose. Claude reads the error, looks at the retry logic in the code base, and identifies that the rate limit threshold is set too aggressively. It's trying to process 10 messages per second when the API allows 20 per minute. Claude writes the fix, updates the config, and I review the diff before committing. The whole thing takes about 8 minutes. Then I push to the repo. The deployment script pulls the update on the server, the service restarts, and we're back online. Zero downtime for the other two systems because they're independent processes. This is the loop that keeps a one-person business alive. Build, monitor, fail, fix, deploy, repeat. And the fix-deploy cycle needs to be fast because you don't have a team. Claude Code is what makes it fast. I'm not writing code at 7 a.m. with coffee in one hand. I'm reviewing code that Claude wrote based on a real error log. That's the difference between a system you can operate alone and a system that needs a developer on retainer. Now let me show you how new features get added without taking the systems down. I use a simple Git workflow. I never push directly to the branch running on the server. I create a feature branch, tell Claude what I need. Let's say I want the invoice system to handle a new currency format. Claude writes the code. I review it. I test it locally against a sample input. And only then do I merge and deploy. The deployment script pulls the latest commit, runs a quick health check, and restarts the service. If the health check fails, it rolls back automatically. Total time from feature request to production, about 20 minutes for something small. For something larger, maybe an hour. And during that entire time, the other systems keep running. Here are the actual numbers. Across the three systems, I'm saving roughly 40 to 50 hours per week of manual work. The Gmail ecosystem alone processes what would take a human 2 to 3 hours daily just for triage. The invoice system handles 200 plus invoices per week that used to be hand-typed. The lead gen engine runs outreach campaigns that would need a full-time SDR. Without automation, I'd need to hire at least 2 people, probably 3. My total monthly infrastructure cost is around $60 for the home server electricity, plus API costs that vary between $30 and $80 depending on volume. So call it $100 to $140 a month total. That replaces what would be $8,000 to $12,000 in monthly payroll. Now here's the honest part. This didn't happen in a weekend. I've been building and iterating on these systems for over a year. The first version of the Gmail bot was terrible. It misclassified emails constantly. The first invoice parser broke on any format that wasn't perfectly clean. But each failure made the system better because I was operating it daily, seeing real data, and fixing real problems. That's the operations loop. Not building from scratch. Running, breaking, fixing, and improving what's already live. And that's the gap between a prototype that looks impressive in a demo and a system that actually runs a business while you sleep. If you want this kind of system built for your business, not just a script, but a full automation that runs and operates itself, go to bizflowai.io to see real examples of what we ship for clients. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you catch the next one, because I'm breaking down the monitoring layer in detail next. And if you have a workflow that's eating hours every week, book a free 30-minute discovery call at bizflowai.io. We'll map out exactly what to automate first.